Hey guys, and welcome back to the Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars playthrough. And last time out we got a major find in the manuscript that we found at the Hotel Ubu, which we're finished with now. And now we've got to take a little trip to the museum to see this Andre character. So it's not looking like maybe the most exciting of videos this time out because we're visiting the museum. Then again, I don't know, because I've never minded. Oh, sorry, I just turned down the volume a bit, it's a bit loud for me. And I've never minded going to museums, to be honest. My parents used to drag me there.
I could see several large shapes in a gloomy room. What they were, I couldn't imagine.
The only thing though, we're doing these...
I considered smashing my fist through the pane, wrenching open the window, and vaulting triumphantly into the building.
Go for it!
No, that's dumb. Besides, I might get hurt.
Yep, there's always that. You don't want to have a handful of glass. So we're going into the museum. Now, I can't remember what went wrong. Something went wrong. I did this. I did a playthrough on this just a bit ago. I think it was last night. I recorded it. For some reason it went wrong, so I've had to go back and do it again. But I actually floundered my way around this museum for a while, because that's the thing about when you've already played a game, you kind of keep. Sometimes you get mixed up. There's something to do. You've got a few things to do in this museum. I think we got to revisit it. So that's where I thought, because the totem pole here, you can push it over. I remember that. There's something to do with you've got to knock it over. Because the whole reason you came is for this. Well, this tripod.
In the case was a spindly tripod, blackened with age and pitted with rust. It was identical to the tripod pictured on the manuscript. A notice identified it as 15th century from Western Ireland. It had been found in Loch Marne at the site of a Knights Templar preceptory. Ireland!
Ireland!
Was it? This tripod was found in Ireland.
I will have to ask you to keep your voice down.
I'm sorry, I was excited.
Excited about a tripod.
It was a tapestry of a lady, a lion, and a unicorn. If I'd had more time, I could have stared at it all day.
Well, and I think that, just to not put a spoiler on, I think that's all you've got to do in the museum from now on. You're meant to be meeting this Andre character, but he's not here. And basically there's a few things in here, like rocks. You can look at the exhibits.
It contained a collection of rocks. They were all shapes and colors, but they were still rocks. Above them, a sign read, L'Age Paléolithique.
Paleolithic age? I'm not expert in French.
I tried to sneak my hand inside while the guard wasn't looking, but the case was locked.
You can't get into any of
these. It
these.
contained some fragments of pottery. They looked to me like broken flower pots. Above them, a sign read, L'Age Paléolithique.
Ancient flower pots. I think that's the same thing. Or maybe not.
I looked down at a collection of tools with wooden handles and tarnished metal blades. There were knives, chisels, and spikes fanned out in a semicircle. I guess there's always been a need for home improvement.
Maybe we could take some of those.
The case contained 2 rows of silver coins. Each coin on the lower row showed a portrait of a guy with a huge nose.
So we'll take it into cash converters.
The totem pole looked distinctly out of place in the setting of the museum.
Yeah, that's kind of totem poles are. What do you want to call it?
Touching an object as rare and beautiful as that would have been the act of a barbarian.
We are no barbarian. Yeah, because that's Native American, I think, or South American, aren't the totem poles? And the rest of it all seems to be Egyptian or medieval, so... There's a little thing over here. This is something to do with the game later
It
on.
was an ancient Egyptian sarcophagus with a beautifully painted effigy of its owner on the lid.
So that's the bad thing about this is I'm not actually playing it fully blind. You know, I've played this game
Leave it
before
alone.
twice, completed
That
it
closet is
twice.
over 3,000 years old.
Closet? It's a sarcophagus.
And then there's this guy, and he's not
The
much
attendant
use.
had an air of self-importance and the kind of steely eyes that never seemed to blink.
Yeah, that's usually the kind of people you get doing
Pardon me?
security work.
Oui, monsieur?
Are you Lobino?
Oh, no. Fancy
Shut up,
taking
you.
me for idiot.
That's my little girl.
I am
She's watching
the
cartoons. She doesn't.
custodian.
She's
But
not interested
Lobino
in
does
watching
work
me play this game.
Work? I wouldn't go so far as to call it that. He studies here most days, but as you can see for yourself, not today.
So the mysterious Andre isn't here. Basically, you can ask them about him about things.
What can you tell me about the collection of pottery?
Those are remains of pots used by the original inhabitants of Paris. The Paris pot people.
When did they move out?
15,000 years ago, monsieur. Vanished in the mists of time. Didn't even have time to pack up their pots.
History's coming alive with this guy.
I thought the original inhabitants of Paris were a tribe known as the Parisi.
That is right, monsieur. Renowned for their pots. You see, in those days, people didn't have much in the way of possessions. A few flints, some animal skins, maybe the odd bone or two. Naturally, when the Parisi came along with their pots, why, everybody wanted one.
I guess they must have caused a kind of consumer frenzy.
Yeah.
Oui, they connected the market, cleaned up.
Yep. Must have been rolling in bones.
You don't know the first thing about those pots, do you?
No, monsieur.
Well, it was fun
What can
story.
you tell me about the collection of coins?
Cool story, bro.
A
Need
rare
more dragons.
example of silver coinage from the reign of Philippe le Bel. That little old lay buried for centuries in a field on the outskirts of Paris. They're unique. Nothing like them has been found anywhere else in Europe.
Who was Philippe le Bel?
Philip the
You
Bell.
don't know? Philippe IV, the King of France.
Philip the Bell, I guess he wasn't the most popular guy.
Templar?
I have no idea, monsieur. All I know is he was King of France. I don't even know why he was called Philippe le Bel.
Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur. I am no scholar, though people often mistake me for one. It is the
Not
use
really
of
us,
my
I don't
ears.
think. After your history
They are
lesson, fella.
important.
And they ask you to park their cars?
They asked me to park the... No. They assume I am an authority on the exhibits in my care.
Whereas
You think you
know
should
next
be?
to nothing about history.
Of course not. All I am saying is I am no scholar. Not like Monsieur Lobino.
He doesn't seem to like that
Do you know
Lobino
anything
fella,
about the
anyway.
Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
The sign on the tripod says it was found at a Templar preceptory.
It does?
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't. I never had much of a start in life, you see.
Poor
I owe
lad.
what little education I gained to my uncle. He was an optician, but he also doubled as the village school teacher. He taught me the alphabet. Wait, 19 letters of it.
Close
The
enough.
bottom row of the chart was too small even for him to read, so he left them out.
Start over and enroll for adult education.
You know, I never thought of that. Do you think if I studied art and did all my homework, I could be a professor of history?
At your age? Dream on.
Tell it to him straight, George.
Can you give me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod, that belonged to John Dee.
Who the hell's
What's the
John D?
importance of John Dee's tripod?
Dee was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century. The Houdini of his time.
Don't you mean alchemist? Escapologists use ropes, chains, and handcuffs, not tripods.
Well, whatever it was, that is the tripod he used in his experiments.
What kind of experiments did John Dee perform with his tripod?
Oh, the usual. Didn't you study chemistry at school?
Yeah, but we skipped over thaumatology.
Okay.
Can I take a closer look at the tripod?
What? Get it out of the case? Ah, no. That tripod is protected by a
Sophisticated surveillance system, eh?
How sophisticated?
A painfully loud alarm bell.
Oh, that'll...
How is the alarm bell triggered?
By the slightest pressure on or movement of any part of the case wherein that tripod is situated.
It strikes me that to call your alarm system sophisticated is, well, stretching the truth a little.
It
It's
has
gotta big it up
never
a little
failed
bit.
yet. The sophistication is in its simplicity.
Well done. We'll show him this stuff. Why
Do you
not?
recognize this red nose?
I don't think so.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur. Is there any reason why I should?
I guess not.
Except that he's a killer.
Do you recognize this ID pass?
No.
What does this tool mean to you?
That belongs in a museum.
Pardon?
It is a priceless historical artifact, if I am not mistaken.
No, it's a plain old tool for lifting
Sounds
brain
legit.
covers.
Oh, I should have told it to him.
Have you ever heard of the Club Alamut?
Oh no, I don't frequent
Plus-
places like that.
You sound remarkably similar to that concierge who climbed out of the sewers and talked to.
Would you like to shake my hand?
Not while I'm on duty, monsieur.
What do you make of this tissue?
It is absolutely disgusting, monsieur.
I have to show everybody the tissue. So that's basically everything, I think, for the museum for now. You can try and topple the totem pole, which I'll just... Oop, wait there, fella. Which I'll just show you now, while his back's turned. Oh, he spotted us.
Watch out! You...
Have to wait for him to turn around, you see.
I finished my toy.
See there, when he's not looking at you, you can try and topple it. Okay, Lily, you got much programs? Good girl. My little girl just told me she's finished the pot. She's been drinking like mad all day today. She'll be talking to her toys now. But, yeah, and you can climb in this sarcophagus. It's something to do with this, because he doesn't want you to open the windows.
A metal rod attached to the wall.
Attention! Please do not open the window, monsieur.
So there you go. He gets rather
Don't you think it's
upset.
kind of stuffy in here?
Better stuffy than dead.
What's the problem? Fumes from car exhausts?
Not just that, monsieur. There's a new burger bar opened up across the street. The Laughing Buffalo.
So what's the problem?
Huh?
They cook their burgers on a charcoal grill.
Shackle
And the fat
grill.
falls on the open flames. The amount of organic compound and smoke particles released is astounding. Since they opened, local air pollution has doubled. And it stinks like a funeral pyre.
It smells like good eating as well.
The windows closed.
Yes, I don't know if you can open him while his back's turned.
Don't open it.
Remember the burning cattle. I'm going to have to say that to somebody the next time they try and open a window. They won't know what the hell I'm going on about, like.
The rod turned smoothly, and the window above me.
See, while he's closing it, I think you got to time it. And he had like that. Yes, I've done it.
This is ridiculous. I could be here for hours.
So I don't know if you do it yet though. I'm not too sure. But there is, for some reason, you do that. And I actually pulled it off them, but I don't think it's the right time to do that particular action, like I just
The
said.
tripod was definitely the one on the manuscript. The Templar connection confirmed it. I was tempted to go to Ireland to check it out.
Alright, so we can go to Ireland. I know you do have to go back and get the tripod and take it to Ireland. But I think that you maybe have to travel to Ireland first. I'm not too sure. And other things I can do, I could go to the police station as well, which is it's a largely useless operation really. You don't learn anything. You can just talk. There's a phone in there. You can talk to Nicole, and she'll tell her about going to Ireland, and she says it's a bit of a long shot. Sorry about that. Just having a drink, and you can talk to Sergeant Moo and the policeman, and they'll just tell you to drop the case. Basically, the case has been dropped. Go on then. I'll show you. I might as well show you. Because otherwise, maybe if I do more stuff, there might not be a reason to go back there. Because I can't remember. I'll just use the phone first. Because I can't remember if there's actually a real reason to come to the police station that you actually use. See, there's no reason to call Todrick anymore. Although it is still open. But I don't think there's a reason to talk to him anymore. Anyway, you've gained all you need from him.
Hello?
Hi, it's George.
I have been reading about the Templars. You know, the politics of the Middle East at the time of the Crusades is fascinating.
Did you read anything about their treasure?
No, George?
I've made a rather interesting discovery at the Croon.
There's no need to sound so arch, George. What is it?
Hey, spill the beans, George.
Attributed to the Knights Templar, and just like the one on the manuscript.
What of it?
What of it? Aren't you excited? The tripod was found in Ireland.
It sounds like a long shot to me.
Yeah, you can go
We have
drinking.
to research these Templar guys properly. Get the facts, the whole story.
And find their treasure.
So it's become sort of a little treasure hunt now, as well as a murder mystery, really is. So we'll go and talk to Sergeant Moo.
Excuse me?
Ah, Monsieur Stobart, n'est-ce pas?
That's correct. You remember me.
The retention of such data is part of my duty as a gendarme. That is how crime is fought, through attention to detail, not intuition.
Yes, sure.
And having a neat moustache. Let's see if he tells us anything else about the
I
clown.
tracked down the clown's movements, Sergeant.
Is that so, monsieur?
Yeah. There's a man down the street who saw him crawling out of the sewer.
Dressed as a clown?
No, he changed into ordinary clothes by then.
So, how did he know it was the clown?
He didn't, but all the clues add up.
Little children can add up, but I wouldn't let them manage my bank account.
Why not? It couldn't hurt any more than what the people running
Is
them
Ross
do
over
now.
here?
Yes, he is. You wish to speak to him?
No, not yet.
Not really. Do you know a man named Khan? He's a shifty-looking guy with a scar on his left cheek.
No, monsieur. Has this man any connection with the bombing of the cafe?
Yes. I believe Khan was the name he used when he hired the clown costume.
Let's see, we'll tell
I'd
him
like
about
to
this.
report an assault.
Yes, monsieur. Where is the victim?
I'm the victim. I've been harassed.
I'm
by
Spartacus.
I see. And where did this alleged assault take place?
Outside the Hotel Ubu. They stopped me as I was leaving and went through my pockets.
Could you describe the suspects, monsieur?
One looked like a gorilla, and the other looked like a weasel. Their names are Flap and Guido.
Bon. I'll get them this time.
What are you going to do about Flap and Guido, Sergeant?
I'm going to bust them, monsieur. For years I've
bust
been
the
hoping
cap in
to
their
pin
ass.
something on that pair. Now's my chance. I'll show them, and the inspector.
Thanks, Sergeant. Thanks for taking me seriously.
I'm only doing my duty, monsieur.
Yeah, he might be a bit of a comedy character, but he seems like a good guy. There's Sergeant Moo on the slide. Seems like he's
I found this red
a decent
nose in the
policeman.
sewer,
What were you doing down there?
fishing for clues. That's where the clown went.
You still insist you saw a clown, monsieur?
Of course. And this novelty nose proves it.
It will take more than a plastic proboscis to convince Inspector Rousseau.
You don't
Some
want
lovely
this.
language in this game.
Certainly not, monsieur.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur.
It's the guy who bombed the cafe. The clown.
This man looks nothing like a clown.
He's taken off his grease paint and costume.
Then there is nothing to link this man with the killing.
Nothing? Look at those murderous eyes.
Look at those murderous eyes.
Hardly likely to get him convicted.
Does the name Merlin mean anything to you, Sergeant?
Nothing, monsieur.
What do you suppose this tool is used for, Sergeant Moo?
It looks like something an obstetrician would use, monsieur.
It was with tools like this that the clown made his
I'll have to look
escape.
up that
I don't
obstetrician.
understand.
He opened up the hole and disappeared into the bowels of the earth.
If you say so, monsieur.
That was very theatrical, Judge.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you, Sergeant?
That's a double-line Swedish with a crosshatch Bergman strike strip. Now, that's unusual. Pre-war Anderson hinging.
Really?
I haven't seen a reinforced Anderson outside of a private collection.
It's rare then?
In this part of the world, yes. There are only 3 places these are made. Taiwan, Manila, and Slough.
Slough.
Would you like to shake my hand,
Matchmaking
Sergeant?
capital there.
Not while I'm on duty, monsieur. The gesture could be misconstrued.
Do you recognize this dirty tissue?
No, monsieur, I do not.
I found it in the sewer.
Perhaps it would be better if you put it back there.
No way!
You can't believe how many people have told us that.
If you say so, monsieur.
Right, we'll talk to Baldy. Get
It's
him out of the
locked
way.
up
Yes,
Yeah, bring
Yes, I do.
Poirot
one
out.
moment, monsieur. Stobart is here to see you, monsieur.
That fan's going crazy on top of that filing
Did you
cabinet.
say what it was about?
No, monsieur.
Very well.
Hi, Inspector. Remember me?
But of course, Mr. Stobart, my mind is a well-ordered faculty. A mental classification system that's the envy of the Bibliothèque Nationale. No tricks, mark you, monsieur. Just exercise. Just as our muscles waste through inactivity, so our minds decay.
Okay, enough of the
But
sermon.
there is no need. If only people would learn to exercise their...
I'm exercising my brain playing this
He was
game.
trying to
That's
impress
enough.
me. It worked. He was pompous and patronizing, but he had style.
Eh bien, if you called about the bombing, you're too late. Investigations have been closed.
But
I've been taken off the case.
what about the murderer, the dead guy?
It is out of my hands.
That was very suspicious. Well, suspicious for one, with the speed that they turned up to the bombing, and the fact that this
What was
case
that
has been dropped so
psycho-detective
quickly.
business you did in the cafe?
It is my theory that the passions evoked in violent crimes create ripples in the ether.
I thought Aoife
Invisible
were for
to all
MP.
but the possessor of a highly developed and receptive mind.
I'm impressed. Can you bend spoons, too?
I didn't think a man of your obvious intelligence would stoop to mockery.
Then you don't.
I'm
Oh,
not
George
mocking.
Stobart.
I've had personal experience of the power of the mind. I used to get ignored at parties until I read a book that changed my life.
Really? What was it called?
Hypnotism for Fun and Profit. He looked at me as if I'd farted at a funeral.
The power of mesmerism is a rare
Yep,
gift.
not a good
but
thing to
power
do.
trick.
You're not going to try any of that psychic interrogation on me, are you?
Do you find the thought of my probing distasteful?
Let's
Don't
just
really
say
want to
I'd
get
rather
probed
you
by a
didn't.
Frenchman,
I've got more
really.
doubts than doubting Thomas when it comes to mysticism.
Too bad. I think you would make an interesting subject under controlled regression.
The day I let anyone mess with my mind hasn't dawned yet. Did you find out the ID of the guy who was killed
Yes,
in
we
the
did.
explosion?
I already knew who he was.
That's suspicious as well. He already knew the person who was killed.
I heard that the bomb victim's name was Plantar.
Your sources are reliable.
He was a big shot at the Treasury, wasn't he? Maybe that's why you've been taken off the case.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I cannot comment.
Do you know a pair of thugs called Flap and Guido?
I have known those two since they graduated from special school. Flap is a nasty piece of work. But Guido is the real brains of the partnership. Where did you hear of them?
I met them out front of the Hotel Ubu. Don't you want to know what I found out about the killer?
I told you, monsieur. The
fact that he's not very interested in finding out anything.
Of the whole affair.
Then I'll have to continue my investigations without your help.
No. You must forget the business of the clown completely. Go back to being an ordinary tourist, Stobard.
He's also pretty keen to get you to drop the whole thing.
Does this red nose mean anything to you?
I'd imagine it means you have not given up your pursuit of the clown.
You're absolutely right. Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No.
It's the face of a killer.
The man who bombed the cafe?
The photograph was taken soon after the explosion. He'd escaped through the sewers, leaving a trail of clues behind him.
Circumstantial evidence, Stobard. None of it proves a thing.
Yeah.
Does the
Why do
name
they keep calling him
Thomas Müller mean
Stobard?
anything to you?
He's Bard.
No, monsieur, nothing.
It's another one of the assumed names used by the
I know
killer.
they're French like that.
Ah, the famous killer clown case.
Yeah. You might have forgotten all about it, but I still aim to find that guy. What do you make of this, Rosso?
It is a tool for gaining access to sewers.
Well done. Give him a biscuit. The first person to get that right.
Doesn't mean anything to you?
No, monsieur. I suggest you ask Sergeant Moo about that. God only knows why, but he collects matchbooks. He claims it is a hobby.
Would you care to shake my hand, Inspector?
Please don't be offended if I decline your offer, Stobard. The palms of my hands are particularly sensitive.
I found this tissue in the sewer.
It would have been best if you'd left it there.
Yeah, and he said same as your friend. But that's
So long,
it.
Inspector.
As I said, that's just an dead end really. You don't really find out. And I can't really remember, to be honest, if there's a reason to go there in the future. I'm not too sure. Although you do gain a little insight into the fact that Inspector Rosso is a little... something not quite right about him. Sergeant Moo seems okay, if a little bit clueless. But I think I'll finish the video at this point now. And I'll come back later on and we'll be visiting Ireland. Now that we've found some clues out. And that'll be though for the next video now. Sorry about the couple of interruptions there with my little girl who's here at the moment. And I just took a little bit of time out from taking her out and about. Just been playing outside with her. And she's having a bit of TV time, so I thought I'd use the time to record a video. Anyway, I hope to see you guys another time for the next video. Until then, all the best.